Support for SportsPage is provided by the University Store at the Crossing. The University Store at the Crossing is the official headquarters for Mules and Jennies emblem clothing, gifts, and UCM memorabilia. Books, office supplies, art supplies, and more are available at the University Store located on the lower level of the Elliott Union on the UCM campus in Warrensburg. And promotional support for SportsPage is provided by 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of the University of Central Missouri Athletics.
Tonight on SportsPage, the Jennies soccer team found themselves back in the later rounds of the Division II soccer tournament.
Both the Mules and Jennies basketball teams were back in action after the Thanksgiving holiday.
And we'll introduce you to UCM's famous mascot. All that and more on this edition of the University of Central Missouri SportsPage.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of SportsPage. I'm Asia Garrison.
And I'm Tristan McClellan. Asia, Jennies soccer found themselves back in the tournament. What else is new? They also got to host it at the South Rec Complex. Why don't you tell us about it?
The Jennies soccer team won their second consecutive Central Region Championship during the break. UCM got a 1-0 win over Minnesota State Mankato to capture the title. Bailey Edwards was the difference maker in this match. Edwards put the Jennies back on the board in the 88th minute when she took a pass from Hannah Powell and drove it into the net. The goal was her second of the season, and Powell's assist was her team-leading seventh of the season. The Jennies then came up against their strongest test of the season. The Jennies took on Grand Valley State in the NCAA quarterfinals. The Jennies got on board first in the 19th minute. Jada Scott collects the ball off of the Jennies corner and puts it into the top of the net for her 11th goal of the season. The Jennies took the 1-0 lead in the halftime. The Lakers would respond quickly as they came out of the halftime and scored 49 seconds into the second half to tie the game at 1. Neither team scored throughout the rest of the regulation and throughout overtime. That would take the match to penalty kicks in the 5th round of penalties. The Jennies were down 2-1. Jada Scott converts on her attempt and then left it all up to Grand Valley State. Grand Valley made their 5th attempt and won the shootout. The game ends tied 1-1 with Grand Valley winning 3-2 in penalties. Anna Dilks played all 110 minutes in goal for the Jennies and recorded 9 saves while allowing 1 goal. The Gens ended the 2015 season 21-2-1 and won the MIAA regular season title, MIAA tournament title, and the Central Region title. Head coach Louis Theobald knows these things, and he says the team has a lot to be proud of.
Our goal is to get to a Final Four and compete for championships, but that's not the only thing that's going to define us. So, the way we carry ourselves and the way we do things is really important to me. So I'm most proud of that. Our kids, you're proud of them for winning games, but you're more proud of them for what they do away from soccer. And this group does a great job. But we need to keep building. We need to keep getting better. And it hurts right now to lose, but we'll have a lot to be proud of, I think, in a week when we reflect.
Just before the Thanksgiving break, the Jennies volleyball team headed to Edmond, Oklahoma for the final rounds of the MIAA tournament. And when the tournament was over, UCM had one more thing to be thankful for. The Jennies took a 3-0 win in the semifinals over Nebraska Kearney. UCM rolled to a 25-17 win in the first set. Carly Soika had 4 kills to pace the offense. UCM came out strong in the second set as well. The Jennies went on a 13-6 run before claiming set 2, 25-19. This time it was Casey Holan who got the game winner. Set 3 was more of a battle that saw 19 ties and 4 lead changes. But in the end, a Broncos hitting error gave the Jennies the 32-30 win, and they'd advance to the finals. The Jennies got 10 blocks and hit better than 300 while holding Nebraska Kearney to 1-31 hitting. The Jennies knew they would have to battle to claim their 13th MIAA title, and battle they did. Central Oklahoma claimed the first set 25-22, but the Jennies fought 2 wins in sets 2 and 3, 25-20 and 27-25. UCM hit better than 300 in both sets and held the Broncos under 300 mark. That allowed UCM to take a 2-1 lead in the match. That momentum would carry the Jennies into the 4th set. There, they dominated with this Carly Soika kill that got 25-18 win and the conference tournament title. A balanced defense kept the Broncos off balance. 5 Jennies reached double figures in digs as UCO hit just 2 for 28 for the match. With the win, UCM climbed to the number 8 in the latest coaches poll.
Jennies bowling finished 7th at the McKendree Invitational. 8th-ranked Jennies bowling went 7-3 this past weekend, bringing in 7th place with a total of 10,559 pins. Justine Falbo was the top player this weekend, averaging 210. Marina Stever followed her, along with Morgan Dolke.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll give you updates on what's going on with the Mules and Jennies basketball teams.
Plus, the Mules wrestling squad went to the UNK Open on the 21st. We're just getting started here. You're watching the UCM Sports Page on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS, and the UCM Media Network.
I choose red to blaze my own trail.
I choose red to be with students and faculty who make me feel at home.
I wanted a university with a big picture perspective. That's why I chose red.
Why do you choose red?
Choose red.
Choose red. Choose the University of Central Missouri. Choose red. Can I do that? Is that allowed?
I support one student in college with a scholarship. Just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation.
For more information, call 1-800-753-3436.
I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're in giving back.
The sports page. The Mules basketball team played 4 games in the past 2 weeks. Tristan, tell me about it.
The undefeated Mules hosted Southeastern Oklahoma Friday. It was a 3-pointer by Brad Woodson that led the Mules to an overtime victory, 79-78. Let's check out these highlights. Neither team was able to get anything going in the opening minutes. Buckets by Marquise Lawrence and Roosevelt Scott gave the Mules a slight edge, but the Southeastern stayed close with the 3 to tie the game at 10. It wasn't until late in the half the Mules would rally and go on a 10-2 run that would take a 4-point lead at half. UCM to take control in the second half, starting with a 5-0 run. They then went on a 12-5 run that included huge back-to-back alley-oops midway through the half. That gave the Mules their biggest lead of the night at 61-47 with 10 minutes to go. But just when you thought the Mules had it in the bag, back came the storm, the Savage Storm that is. They went on a 22-6 run to take the lead. Lawrence got put back with 4 seconds left to tie the game and forced overtime. Southeastern Oklahoma led 78-76 when the Mules got their last possession, setting up Woodson's final dramatic shot. The Mules were 31 of 75 from the floor for 41% shooting. They made 8 of 27 three-pointers and forced Southeastern State into 17 turnovers. The following night, the 16th-ranked Mules played host to Mid-America Nazarene here in the Berg. The Mules came up with a huge 20-point victory. Both teams came out firing in the early minutes of the first half. This 3 by Roosevelt Scott gave the Mules the lead 7-4, and that lead would grow. Scott and DeMonye Cunningham would have a night, both finishing with 17 points. The Mules owned the second half. The Pioneers couldn't get within 11 points. The Mules defense came up big with 10 steals as UCM forced 15 turnovers and out-rebounded Mid-America Nazarene 42-28. The Mules were also clicking on offense, hitting 50% of their shots, including 8 of 20 from behind the arc. Opening up the MIAA play last night, the Mules came out firing, hitting their first 8 shots against Missouri Western. The Mules jumped to a 26-2 lead within the first 6 minutes and never looked back, destroying Missouri Western 74-59. The Mules owned the first half. They couldn't miss, hitting 6 consecutive three-pointers, which blew the whole game wide open. The Griffins battled back with a 12-2 run, pulling them within 15 before the half. The second half was the same story. Just great play by the Mules, clicking on all cylinders. The Griffins had no answer for DeMonye Cunningham as he led the Mules with 23, and the Mules improved to 7-0.
The Jennies basketball team took 2 losses over break against Quincy and Drury. The Jennies held a 9-point lead after the first period, but from then on it was all Drury as the number 8 Panther cruised to an 86-71 win on November 24th. The Jennies shot a respectable 43% of the game, but hit only 5 three-pointers. They also out-rebounded Drury, but 19 turnovers proved too much to overcome. It looked like UCM might turn it around November 28th when the Jennies faced Quincy, but the Hawks outscored UCM 22-13 in the fourth quarter and came back for a 68-65 win. Wednesday night, the Jennies hosted the number 1 scoring offense in the country, Missouri Western, and the Griffins proved just how potent their offense was as they defeated UCM 78-55. Missouri Western came in averaging 96 points per game. The Jennies were able to hold them below 80 points for the first time all season. Unfortunately, UCM couldn't get his offense going to match his defensive effort. The Griffins scored the first 8 points of the game. That set the tone for the rest of the contest as UCM was forced to play catch-up. The Jennies shot just 30% from the floor and hit only 3 of 24 from the three-point range. Missouri Western also out-rebounded to the Jennies 43-25.
4 Mules placed in the top 6 in the elite division as the 19th ranked Mules wrestling squad competed in the Nebraska Kearney Open November 21st. Archie Williams got a technical fall in his opening match on his way to the title in the 174-pound weight class. Ty Lothan was second at 165 pounds. He recorded a technical fall and a pin before dropping the title match 3-2 to a wrestler from the University of Nebraska. Nick Lovejoy was also second at 285. He received a bye and then won a pair of decisions to advance to the championship round. Mike Boyd placed 6th at 184 pounds in the elite division to round out the top performances for the Mules.
We're going to take our second full time out, but when we come back, Daniel Barnett will give us our news and notes.
So don't go away. You're watching the UCM Sports Page on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS, and the UCM Media Network.
I choose red for unlimited possibilities.
I choose red because my family is less than an hour away, but I still get to be independent.
I get to apply my classroom experience to my everyday life. That's why I chose red. Okay, that'll work.
Why do you choose red?
Choose red.
Choose red.
Choose the University of Central Missouri.
Choose red. Kidding, that was a joke.
Who says we can't know how a Civil War soldier felt, or what it's like to change the rules of the game? Ken Burns pioneered a new way to tell America's story. And only PBS gives filmmakers like him a place to push the boundaries of what TV can do. Give to this PBS station so stories like these are available now and for generations to come.
Jennies volleyball finished the season strong. The Jennies captured the MIAA tournament title with a victory over Central Oklahoma and now look ahead to the NCAA tournament. Jennies square off against Wayne State this afternoon at 2:30. For information and results from this game, feel free to visit UCMathletics.com. Should the Jennies win the opening match, they will face the winner of Southwest Minnesota State and Washburn. Mules basketball is off to a strong start. Mules are 7-0 and will look to continue the streak. Mules will host rival Northwest Missouri State at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Jennies will also be in action on Saturday. Jennies are looking to get back on track as they host the Bearcats at 1:30. Mules wrestling will hit the road Saturday. Mules travel to Storm Lake, Iowa for the Buena Vista Open. Mules looking good so far. Continuing on the road, Jennies bowling will compete in the Sam Houston State Cat Classic in Houston, Texas this weekend. The 2014-2015 defending indoor and outdoor track and field champion Central Missouri Jennies opened the 2015-2016 season ranked 4th in the preseason poll by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. Mules are also in the top 10 and are ranked 7th. Jennies volleyball had 11 players named to the MIAA Academic Honor Roll as the conference announced its academic awards Tuesday afternoon. Jennies also had 3 MIAA scholar athletes: senior libero Annie Riley, juniors Maddie Jones and Courtney Thompson. Mules football, they also had 25 players named to the MIAA Academic Honor Roll. In addition, sophomore linebacker Austin Miller was named an MIAA scholar athlete. To earn MIAA Academic Honor Roll status, a student athlete must have a cumulative GPA of 3.0 and at least 2 terms of attendance at that institution. To earn the MIAA Scholar Athlete distinction, they must have a cumulative GPA of 3.5, have at least 2 terms of attendance, and if competing in a championship sport in the MIAA, earn all MIAA honors. Anna Dilks, Abby Rhodes, and Julie Ireland were named to the National Soccer Coaches Association of America Central Region team released earlier this week. Emily Eldridge and Megan Woolley earned second-team honors. Dilks, Rhodes, and Ireland are now all eligible for All-American honors. Those teams will be released in the coming days. The D2 Conference Commissioners Association Women's Soccer All-Region teams were also announced on Monday. Anna Dilks, Abby Rhodes, Emily Eldridge, Julie Ireland, and Hannah Pyle all received first-team honors. Also, Jennies head soccer coach Louis Theobald was named the NSCAA Central Region Coach of the Year. 2 Mules football players were also named to the Division II Conference Commissioners Association All Super Region 3 teams. Senior offensive lineman Brian Brzezinski was named to the first team, and senior tight end Ian Tolson earned second team honors. Brzezinski helped anchor an offensive line for the MIAA's third-ranked offense and fourth-ranked scoring offense. He is now eligible for All-American honors. Tolson led all conference tight ends with 36 receptions for 450 yards and 7 touchdowns. Both the American Volleyball Coaches Association and the Division II Conference Commissioners Association released their all-region teams. 3 Jennies were honored. Carly Soika was named the Commissioner's Central Region Player of the Year. She is the second Jenny to ever claim the Regional Player of the Year honor. Soika was also a first-team AVCA pick. Annie Riley was also a first-team pick on both all-region teams. Riley is the first Jenny to ever be selected to the first-team AVCA all-region in 3 consecutive years. Maddie Jones was named Honorable Mention All-Region by the coaches. This is her first all-region award. Mules basketball moves up in the latest National Association of Basketball Coaches poll to number 12. Mules came into the season at number 16 and are the only MIAA team in the poll. And finally, the Mules wrestling team is ranked number 6 in the Super Region 3 in the latest D2 coaches poll. The Mules also have 2 wrestlers ranked in their weight classes. The poll was released by D2Wrestling.com Tuesday afternoon. Archie Williams is ranked number 2 at 174 pounds. Ty Lothan is number 3 at 165. Fans of UCM athletics have come to expect a familiar sight at Mules football games. And that is the university's live mascot, Mancow the Mule. We had a chance to find out a bit more about Mancow and those who care for Central Missouri's iconic mascot.
UCM takes pride in its mascots, one of which is Mancow. But what does it take to get him ready for game day?
For game day, we usually go out the night before, so we'll go out on Friday night, and we usually bathe her, we'll groom her, and we also paint her. So the night before, we'll go out and we'll paint whatever the theme is for the next game. So we had the blackout game, we painted blackout on her backside, and also like for Mom's Day and Dad's Day, for Parents Weekend, we wrote Hi Mom and Hi Dad on her, and so we usually write like Go UCM or Go Mules, and so that's mainly the biggest thing, is making sure the paint gets on and gets dried before the game. And then we'll go out early the next morning and just touch up the paint and groom her real nice and pretty and saddle up and head out to the game.
A lot of work goes into training and preparing Mancow. The more time you spend with him, the more you get to know him.
I've known Tammy for 2 years now. Last year I was the apprentice. I was underneath another girl. And when she graduated, I took over. But for that past year, I was able to go out to the agriculture farm here on campus, which is where we keep the mule, and just ride her around. We have trails out there and lots of pastures, and I got to know her really well just by going out there all the time and riding. And this year, you know, same thing. We've been able to go out there and train a lot more with her just because the weather's been super nice, and it's really helped my bond with her. Getting to make connections with a lot of people. I've met a lot of great influential people in our community through being the mule rider. You know, people come up and say hi. I get a bond with children. They come up and we'll take pictures on the mule, and a lot of them, they say they want to be the mule rider when they grow up, and that's really cool. And honestly, getting to watch our football team from the ground is one of the coolest things in the world. Being able to root them on from the back of our mule is just an amazing opportunity.
Be on the lookout for Mancow next season when Mules football returns. I'm Scott Flowers, and you're watching the UCM Sports Page.
That's all the news and notes I have for you today. You can get more information on these stories, rankings, awards, and more at UCMathletics.com.
We're going to take one more quick timeout, but when we return, we'll give you the top 10 plays of the fall semester.
So stick around to find out which plays were good enough to make our list. You're watching Sports Page on KMOS-TV and the UCM Media Network.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Been doing like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah.
Dude, that's Sarah. The girl in the pink shirt. That's the girl I was telling you about.
Theater 2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?
Hey, Sarah. So when are you going to post something new?
Anything you post online, anyone can see. So think before you post.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to getschool.com.
Since this is our final show of the semester, we figured what better way to send us out than with a list of top plays from this semester.
Number 10 from Jenny Soccer. Courtney Keeling gets her own rebound and bangs the ball into the goal. Way to stick with it.
Number 9 from the wrestling mat, Mike Boyd with pin in just 23 seconds. Hope you don't blink or you missed it.
Number 8, Jenny's volleyball. They're taking on Nebraska Kearney, and we've got back to back blocks.
Number
Gotta
7.
love defense.
Number 7, we like reruns here. How about alley-oops on back-to-back possessions? DeMonye Cunningham to Roosevelt Scott against Southeastern Oklahoma.
Number 6, back to the soccer pitch, Julie Ireland splits the defense for the goal. She scored in 8 straight matches early in the season.
Number 5, back with more soccer, Jada Scott weaves through to the defense for one of her 11 goals this year. Jenny's made it all the way back to the national quarterfinals.
Number 4, how about some Jenny's basketball? Shelby Winkleman in her first game of the year had 24 points, including 2 off this half-court pass from Andy Waylard. Welcome back to the hardwood, Shelby.
Number 3, time winding down to OT, Spencer Reeve, Brad Woodson for 3, Mules over Southeastern Oklahoma in overtime.
At number 2, it's one of the most exciting plays in football, a punt return for a touchdown. Jalen Zachary's going to do it to perfection. Starts right, reverses his field through the entire coverage unit. Tough day for the Riverhawks. Mules roll on homecoming.
And our top play of the semester, it's coming, comes from the MIAA tournament. Carly Soiko with the kill to give the Jennies the tournament title. Great job, Jennies. This is their 13th conference tournament championship.
Thanks for tuning in this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. This is our last show of the semester. We'll see you in the spring. I'm Asia Garrison.
I'm Daniel Barnett.
And I'm Tristan McClellan. From all of us here, hope you have a wonderful holiday season. You've been watching SportsPage on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS, and on the UCM Media Network. See you in 2016. Have a good night, everybody.
Support for SportsPage is provided by the University Store at the Crossing. The University Store at the Crossing is the official headquarters for Mules and Jennies emblem clothing, gifts, and UCM memorabilia. Books, office supplies, art supplies, and more are available at the University Store located on the lower level of the Elliott Union on the UCM campus in Warrensburg. And promotional support for SportsPage is provided by 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 KOKO and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of the University of Central Missouri Athletics.